Pleasant good morning, everyone. I'd like to warmly welcome all to our presentation. I'd like to start this morning off with a prayer, which will be led by Mr. Terry.
Good morning. Dear kind and Heavenly Father, I want to thank you for bringing each and every one of us here today, O Lord. We ask that this presentation goes smoothly and that you hold the showers as come falling. Lord, I ask that at the end of this all that somebody here leaves learning something new, Lord. This I can bring you on. Amen.
I'd like to welcome my team members, Mr. T.C. Sylvester, Mr. Keontae Charles, Mr. Michael Pigas, Mr. Thierry Griot, Mr. Isaiah James, Mr. Siobhan Murphy, Mr. Darwin Stanley, and myself, Tiffany Papnet. I'll hand you over to Mr. T.C. who will take us through the introduction and the objective of this presentation.
Hi, good morning. I'm going to be talking about the introduction of the subject matter today. In 2016, Trinidad and Tobago was hit with an economic crisis known as the recession. The government announced the oil prices was at its lowest and there was a shortage of foreign exchange, which caused the country to go in a frenzy. One of the elements the government noticed that led to these unforeseen circumstances was the high expenditure on the food import bill. Minister of Agriculture, Mr. Clarence Rambarat, stated between the years of 2011 to 2016, the food import bill was an estimated $2.7 billion TT. And most of the food imported over these waters were foreign fruits and vegetables, such as grapes, pears, apples, the things we like to eat during Christmas time. Several economists and the government suggested a course of action to the nation, which was to plant their own crops at home or purchase from a local fruit supplier. This started the support local movement in our country. Our objective for this project is to go to the community of Pinto and encourage them to plant their own crops at home, as well as train the fellow residents of this community on how to implement the food, implement on the home garden, as well as manage the crops over time. Some of the key areas that we focused on for this project was the training, the implementation, the crops, the management of crops, and of course the savings. The purpose of this project is to encourage communities about having their own home garden as well as reduce the food import bill. I'll hand you over to Mr. Darwin Stanley.
Hey everyone, I'll be going over the methodology we use to gather information for this project. So the main purpose of this study was to acquire information regarding the adverse effects of importing food into Trinidad and Tobago. The demand for crops is growing, and the amount of crops we are producing in Trinidad is lowering. The goal of this study is to gather enough information to demonstrate that there is a problem and allow conclusions to be drawn such that suggestions can be made that would essentially benefit the population of this country. Granted, food importation in itself is a very broad topic with many different solutions. The focus of this study is how the population themselves can reduce that. Right? For the purpose of this study, we did both primary information and secondary information gathering. Primary data is what we use mainly to gather information from residents of the community. We use questionnaires for this. And secondary data is what we did from research online, from articles that have been done on home vegetable gardens before. All right. What we did gather was quantitative information and qualitative information from these questionnaires. Quantitative data is data which can be quantified, counted, and qualitative data is data which cannot be quantified, but rather used to gain understanding of the opinions and ideas from the people who did the questionnaires. All right. The advantages of using questionnaires to gather information was that we can get information from a large group of people. It is well suited for large-scale samples, answers are objective, and it is at a low cost. All right. I now hand you over to Mr. Keontae Charles.
I am here to talk to you about the justification for thing. And well, as we all know, Trinidad and Tobago main source of foreign exchange is oil production. And with advances in hybridization and renewable energy, our demand for oil and gas has decreased over the years. So, but in 2016, Trinidad and Tobago estimated food bill was 8.19 billion TT dollars. To put that into context for you guys, that's 56.9 billion TT dollars. So in 2016, Trinidad and Tobago lost $8.19 billion in foreign exchange. The effects of having a lack of foreign exchange within our country is that our government will find it hard to import goods from abroad, as our TT currency is needed to be converted to US currency in order to bring anything in. So this will lead to a lack of supplies within our country. And also having a lack of foreign exchange will also, you could say, downgrade our country's international business status, and it will also discourage new business growth. So this will lead to job loss and downsizing of departments within our companies. So our solution to deal with this problem is to teach our communities the benefits of growing their own crops. I will now hand you over to Mr. Michael to elaborate.
Okay. There are many methods whereby which crops could be planted. The first of which we'll explore is hydroponics. So the word hydroponics comes from Latin and means working water. So put simply, hydroponics is the art of growing plants without soil. Therefore, it means we more or less use water. Since the prefix hydro relates to water, most think that plants are grown with their roots suspended in water, with no growing medium. This refers to as nutrient film techniques, and there are many variations. So, question. Soil a plant grows in serves two purposes. Does anybody have any idea what are those two? Okay, so the first being, it anchors the plants from above hazards. So, in the event we have natural disasters or if a force is exerted, the plant doesn't collapse. And secondly, it provides plants with nutrients to keep them growing. Now with hydroponics, these two are handed off, but plants still need something to anchor their roots and support growth. Therefore, Rockwell, cocoa fiber and perlite are used for anchoring and retains moisture to help foster healthier plants. Why does hydroponics work so well? Plants given exactly what is needed, when it is needed, in the required dosage allows a plant to grow healthy as possible. So the nutrient solution is delivered to the roots, allowing plants to take its food with little effort compared to soil where roots must search for nutrients and extract them. So, in a nutshell, to have you guys understand this a little better, I'm going to use the example of the drip system. So, the drip system comprises of a grow tree in which the plants are housed. There's a reservoir that houses the solution. The solution comprises of water and hydroponic fertilizer. So we use either an external pump or submersible pump. One of those pumps is controlled by a timer. A preset value is input into the timer. When that time expires, it sends a signal to the pump. The pump draws the water, sends it up to a drip manifold. The drip manifold then distributes the water out to a drip line, and the drip line then supplies each plant with the nutrients. Each plant then takes the nutrients that it needs, and excess water then runs off into a drip line back into the reservoir. So more or less, it's a cycle. So if you think of it, it is like a snow cone, a used snow cone. So you drink all the syrup, and more or less it's just the ice left. So as time goes by, the plants use up all of the nutrients and it's just water left in there. So you're going to have to dispose of the water eventually and add a new... Yes. Alright. So now that you have a clear understanding, the disadvantages, one, water and electricity risk. We both know water and electricity. We all know water and electricity. They don't go hand in hand. System failure, as if the pump fails, one, if you have a lack of electricity, two, although we could equip the system with a DC battery, that would only last for a particular period of time. And the initial cost is expensive. Advantages, plants can grow virtually anywhere. Secondly, crops grow much faster, no weeds, you have less water is utilized. And finally, no soil, which makes it simpler and easier to utilize. However, some people find it a little too simple and they would like to explore other avenues. So we have more complicated systems like aquaponics. So I'll hand you over to Mr. James, he'll go more in detail.
Good morning, everyone. Basically, the aquaponics system is a combination of the aquaculture, which is raising fish, and the hydroponic system, where you will take the fish waste from any tank and you pump it back into the hydroponic system, and the nutrients from the fish waste will be broken down by the microbes, and that will go to the hydroponic system, where the plants take the nutrients and filter the waste, and then the water will return to the tank. And basically, the advantages of this system is you don't have no waste in the water, you don't have no soil pests, and basically it doesn't need much maintenance. Just you might have to top up the tank every now and then. And then some disadvantages will be the pH level in the fish tank, because the fish needs a certain pH balance within the tank, which is 6.8, between 6.8 and 7.2. So you will need to buy pH modifiers to keep the water within the pH levels. And I will now hand over to Murphy, who will talk about the grow box system.
Good day. Anyone has known what a grow box is or have seen a grow box? Well, if you have seen a grow box, well, the name alone telling you that is a box, basically. But a grow box is used for the production of crops in a box-like structure, using special mixtures that will give the plants nutrition to grow. There's no soil within the grow box. There's the materials you need for the grow box are foundation blocks, the standard size, plastic if you're doing it on concrete, or soil. If you're doing it on soil, the plastic is so that no soil-borne diseases won't go into the grow box to kill the plant or pull it down. Example, a mold cricket. If you're doing it on concrete, well, the plastic is there to protect the concrete, so nothing can go past. You could limestone. If you're doing it on the bare soil, you need limestone. But if you're using plastic, you won't need limestone. The mixtures that go in the box is sharp stand and manure. 3 parts manure to 1 part sharp stand. So it can be, you can place the box anywhere. It can be small, but the standard size of a grow box is 30 by 5 feet. If a yard not big enough for that, it could be 5 by 6, 2 by 2. You could plant anything in it. So some crops that you can plant in it is pak choy, lettuce, pimento peppers, tomatoes, seasonings, cauliflower, broccoli, just for example. Or you could use it as a startup. If I would say, for example, you plant a tree, you could like start the mango tree or whatever in there, and then transplant it over to your soil, to the bed. And now I pass over to Chiwigio, who will talk about the ground bed.
Everyone. So the ground bed is the simplest method used to plant, so it won't be as long as the rest for the definition part. So as is raised ground beds we use, that's the method we use to plant. So what it basically is beds raised above the level of the terrain or grade of soil that you use. It could either be freestanding beds or supported beds, much like the grow box, where you use either wood, brick or plastic to support the weight of the beds that you build. So the bed's height could also be adjusted, but 12 inches would be adequate enough to have a proper bed. Right? The height adjusted because to help people with back problems, so you can adjust the height a little higher so you don't have to bend over as much, so it can help you with that. And some advantages are better drainage. So
like which one? The grow box. Sometimes if you don't build it properly or you don't leave enough space, the drainage will be harder. It's harder to drain out the water, so it'll be, because of the incline plane on the bed, it'll be better. It'll have better drainage. But at the same time, because of the better drainage, the beds could dry a lot faster. So you'll want to wet it in the morning and in night, not when the sun out, right? So another disadvantage of this is you could also have soil-borne diseases. So you'll have to use chemicals and insecticides to keep away the insects that would destroy the plant. But other than that, this method is probably the cheapest out of all, because depending on the type of soil you use, you may not need chemicals, because the type of soil may not grow weeds or grass, or the soil rich enough that you don't need manure to support the growth of the plant. And that's about it for raised ground beds. I'll now hand you over to Chianti.
Our solution for the previously stated issues was to implement the ground beds, as you can see at the back, and our grow box system, which we will demonstrate later on. We chose these two methods because it's best suited to this community, as most homes in this community has unused land space in which the ground beds can be used, and for homes with limited space, the ground box could be used. These methods were chosen over hydroponics and aquaponics because of its relatively cheap start and cost amenity. I'll now hand you over to Tiffany.
So I'd like to take you to the crops in which we planted. We planted pak choys, lettuce, and cucumbers. Pak choys, also known as pak choy or bok choy, it is a Chinese cabbage with its varieties popular in southern Asia and southern China. Some of its health benefits, it can act as anti-inflammatory agents. It has calcium for strong bones, and it also helps fight against cancer. Lettuce, scientifically known as Lactuca sativa, it has wide varieties of different lettuces, and some of its health benefits are it helps protect against cancer. It has inflammatory agents as well. And last but not least, cucumbers, scientifically known as Cucumber sativus. It's like botanical family to melons and squashes, and not like others, it has less health benefits. Like it also helps against fights against cancer, and it also has antioxidants. We will take you through the practical aspect where we demonstrate the types of tools we use and the chemicals. But right now we'll just take a snap break so you all can soak in what we said before, and then we will take you to the practical aspect of the project. Welcome back, everyone. First, I'd like to introduce you to the chemicals in which we use. This is a green special, also known as a glucon. It's actually a salt. It's to help with the plant with growth. This is an all-purpose plant food as well. This also assists with plant growth. This one is quick root. It's a soluble fertilizer. This one's help with like insecticides and those types of animals. This is Cypro. This is also another insecticide and anticide. It helps keep away from ants, small little worms, earthworms, those different types of pests. And this one is Numectin. This one also assists with growth, and it also can be used as an insecticide. We'll take you to the tools in which we use for the group.
So we use 6 garden tools for our ground beds. Well, I only have 3 to present to you today. So we use a pitchfork, a spade, a hoe, a broomstick, a shovel, and a rake.
Anybody can guess what the broomstick was for?
The punch hole. Correct. You are very correct.
We'll take you to the presentation now of the robot system. To punch holes. So when you're planting the
seedlings in it. Yeah.
As you can see, we have a small demonstration, a 2x2 as a demonstration. You lay out the blocks and put them interlocking. So enough space is there for drainage. First, we'll put in the shaft stand. Put it evenly.
The shaft stand is used also as the meat to have a proper water drainage. So the water would stay in the soil area, it would go below and drain out through the sand. So for different types of crops, you can use manual. This was a mix special that they had for the grow box. You can also use pro-mix if you're planting like smaller seedlings. So you have a variety of different things you could use. You can talk to the person in the garden place and they can tell you what is better suited for the plants that you're going to plant.
You're using that soil just like that?
Yes.
Is already a special blend.
It's already prepared?
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, okay, fine.
The mixture supposed to be level with the concrete, with the foundation blocks supposed to be level. But since it's a demonstration, we just have a little bit left over and just showing a little how it's really supposed to be.
We have 4 lettuce plants here. Anybody can remember the scientific name that I said earlier? Sativa.
Something.
4 volunteers to come and plant them. 4 volunteers.
It's named lettuce.
Any 4 volunteers? Shakira, you can help us plant. Shakira, come please.
It's just to stick it in.
And you.
And then it covers it.
Lettuce grow broad. So you have to like space it out, take a plant, like another one here, and then so you can have 3 by 2. 3 more volunteers. Don't be shy.
Come here. Come here. Have a pussy. Oh, that's how you use it to the straight.
Yeah. So we're going to bend it back.
Giant gift.
Who's our last volunteer?
Oh, your mother.
Mr. Siobhan Murphy would explain a little more about the grow box system.
Grow box supposed to be level to ensure that all the plants are getting the equal amount of nutrition and water. If it isn't level, one side of the plants could grow more than the next side because the nutrition could be flowing downwards towards one plant more than the next plant. So this is just the first step of planting. Now we just going to water and put in your salt and insecticides to ensure that it is grown fully and any bugs and pests won't come to eat your plant. For example, bachak that love leaves.
If you're having a problem with the types of chemicals, we can forward a list for you in case you want to start your own home garden, and each chemical has its dosage, so you won't have a problem with that. So we'd like everyone to stand up. We'll be taking a walk across to the back where we harvest the pak choy.
With proper nutrition and proper drainage and stuff, pak choy and lettuce should take 6 to 8 weeks to grow, to fully grow. And well, we try to plant some cucumbers, which takes like 2 months, but the amount of rain we are getting, it washed down our thing. So we also start cucumber in the middle here. Right? And we use something called seed cover. If you kind of notice these beds compared to this one, This one has weeds and these kind of doesn't. There's something called seed killer to prevent weeds and stuff from growing. But with using seed killer, you can't plant actual seeds. You have to use seedlings, like which we use to plant in group box.
Okay.
Depending on the land you have, some soil actually more nutritional than others. So depending on the grade of the land, you'll have to use manure. Cured manure preferably, well, cured manure for sure, and chicken manure preferably. The plant.
Why the chicken man?
It's more nutritional as the plant, and it will burn as much as the horse. It is burn less. The horse somehow it burn the plant more than the especially if it's too strong and not cured.
Oh, okay.
And some crops don't really like manure. So we didn't really have to put manure for the lettuce and the pak choy, but we could have put if we chose to. But due to cost extent, we would do that. As well as we would have put manure when the cucumbers came up because cucumbers like manure. But we died. So we now take you to the harvest station. We have any volunteers, so he would demonstrate the first one. And Ms. Ramsey would come and pick up the second one. Your favorite, Ms. Ramsey, you pick one?
This is it? I do have shoes to wear it. Oh, I don't think you will have. I need to wear it.
So you take your knife, kind of hold the plant where you can see the roots, and you cut it. You just cut it out. You just cut out the bottom. And that's it. You have a pack.
Yeah.
The bag too small. The bag is small.
Ms. Ramsey, which one you want?
Not everything is selling. They want to know how much in the pack choy.
Ms. Ramsey, which one you want?
I made one. Very
This
nice.
one?
Is it fit now? Yeah.
Perfect.
I think that is really good. Hello, this is really good.
I want from a natural.
That is not a factory.
This, no, not from this field. This
And
is the Pope.
as happy as we
They
are
wanted to make it
eating
just
our
not have
crops,
this over
just
now.
imagine how happy you all would be doing it on your own.
Yeah, but we'll try this. One question, like the lettuce, right? Just like how you all have these small little ones, this is what you all planted here?
Yes.
Okay.
Everything came
And the
from
pak choy
those
too, the
stuff.
same
Yes,
way?
it's small.
Okay.
If you can see, some are still small because they're struggling.
We had a little difficulties when we now started planting. That's when all the rain was falling.
Fall in,
So it's
right.
fall for a whole week, so we kind of struggled before it
So
started.
when we get an avocado,
We plant that this round.
And ever so often we had to ensure that these drains were cleared to ensure that there is a proper runoff surface. Otherwise it was just suffocating the plants more. They were getting more water than was needed.
oh, okay.
And due to the amount of rainfall, we had us to salt it more than the actual doses that you had to, because it was
Running out.
running out.
Yes.
So you had to do it extra.
Instead of spraying once a week, you had to spray twice a week.
So it's according to the weather conditions, you will have to know how much the plants will actually need.
And I volunteer what we do.
Anybody want to volunteer to harvest one of the crops? Any volunteers?
Somebody at us.
For shoes. Well, that's somebody from the back.
Any volunteers?
No.
Shaq. Keep in mind everything is being recorded.
Wow. Very nice.
You're in nature, but are your true self?
No, you have to stay here.
So what we have is 8 factor and 100 lettuce. Both $40.
fertilizer, 80 factor fertilizer, and the cucumber was $1 too, I think, and about 10. But, yeah, you leave that out for now, right? So, with these, we have, when you planted, you realize 80 and 100 is plenty, right? You ain't going to use that much. So, let me say hypothetical, you use 2 of each a week, right? If you actually calculate it out, it's like, you'll have 72 factory and 92 lettuce, and the wholesale price for the factory is $7, and the wholesale price for lettuce is $6. So if you think about it, the profit that you could make if you sell the excess. Yeah. And then these are short crops, so it will take a month for these to go. So within a month, you get back your money to buy more.
Yeah. Okay.
With excess. Right?
Yeah.
So that's basically how we do
People
it.
have no right to become vagrants because they have plenty things they could do.
Yeah.
It's about planting, it's also a physical activity. So it's if you just be inside all day watching TV. Some
You're
just,
trying to say again, exercise.
it creates bonded moments with your family members. As you can see, the smile on all of our faces because of the crops that we harvesting and go and eat later. The same smile could be on all of them.
Just make sure you see some of those spatula and then you get it on the in the video. Yeah.
And if you choose to sell these bacteria, I'll hand you over to Miss Esther to show you how to bundle them. You see, not only men could do these things, right? Women.
Normally you wash it out and prepare it, and then you like to make a nice bundle when you go to the market. This is what a proper bundle would look like. Then you put your rubber band
And you tie it. And,
yeah. So it's telling her this is just one, making a proper bundle for you.
But a bundle will go for how much? Yeah, I don't know.
Like about, these days I think they're selling like about $9 a bundle. It varies.
Yeah.
Yeah, according to how the market is, it varies.
Okay, okay.
So you get different price at different times. So you want to no, well, as according to how much, you put 2 to a bundle, but how these small. This would be a nice proper bundle. Could rinse it out so you can.
These would be rinsed out for you, right, Miss Ramsey?
Yeah, don't rinse it out.
So I'd like to thank everyone again for coming. You all can have a seat. We'll be serving lunch.
If any? Yes, you all said it have you will have a list with the salts and the different things
Yes,
that
yes.
you will be interested in.
Okay, well you have an email.
Yeah, I'll give you the
If you
email.
need me, I can forward it.
Okay, alright.
Anybody else interested?